Hello and welcome back to English Weaver. We're so glad you're here. Today's episode is all about how to talk about your Christmas experience in English. We'll take it step by step and keep it simple and fun. I'm just so excited to get into this topic. Thinking about sharing Christmas memories, it's such a personal thing, isn't it?
It really is. And it's funny because it's so universal in one way, but the actual experience is deeply individual.
Exactly. It's full of all these little details, these feelings, and trying to talk about it, especially in another language, can feel, well, a bit daunting.
I think daunting is the right word. You're trying to capture something that's, well, it's multisensory. It's not just a story with a beginning, middle, and end.
That's such a good point. It's the smells, the sounds, the way the air feels.
Right. It's this whole atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I think that's the real challenge. How do you describe a complex emotional memory in a simple way?
Okay, so let's talk about that. Of all the senses at Christmas, which one do you think is the absolute hardest to put into words?
Oh, that's a great question.
Is it, the specific smell of pine needles or maybe a certain kind of cake baking in the oven?
For me, it's definitely smell, without a doubt.
Really? Why that one?
Because it's so direct, it bypasses the logical part of your brain and goes straight to the feeling, to the memory.
I think I know what you mean.
I have this one really distinct memory from my childhood. It's not the tree, it's not the food, it's a specific type of candle my grandmother used to burn.
What did it smell like?
See, that's the thing. I can try. It was sort of spicy, like cinnamon, but also warm and a little bit waxy. But none of those words really do it.
You just feel flat.
They feel so flat because that smell was Christmas Eve to me. It meant everyone was home, everything was quiet, and the excitement was just building. How do you say all of that with it smelled like cinnamon?
You can't. It's impossible.
Exactly. The words just feel so inadequate.
And I think that's something so important for anyone listening to remember. If you're struggling to describe something so personal, it's not just you. It's not a language issue.
Not at all.
It's completely normal because you're trying to translate a feeling, not just, a list of facts.
That's the perfect way to put it. You're translating a feeling. And that brings us to family traditions, right? Because those are the structures we build to hold all those feelings.
Yes, the rituals we do every single year.
And they can be big things, or they can be these tiny, almost weird little habits that your family has.
Do you have one of those? A slightly quirky one?
Oh, we have a very quirky one. It happens every Christmas Eve without fail.
I love a quirky tradition. Tell me more.
Okay, so my family has this thing. We call it the pickle hunt.
The pickle hunt, like a real pickle.
Sort of. It's a glass ornament that's shaped like a pickle.
Yeah.
And it's hidden somewhere on the Christmas tree after all the other decorations are up.
Okay, I think I've heard of this. It's a German tradition, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So on Christmas morning, the first kid to find the pickle on the tree gets an extra little present.
Oh, I love that. What a great incentive to actually look at the tree properly.
It is. But the funny part is how serious everyone gets about it. You have my uncle pretending he doesn't care, but he's secretly scanning the tree from his armchair.
And the kids are just crawling underneath, trying to find that one little green ornament among all the green branches.
Exactly. It's this moment of, shared, playful competition.
But it's also just a moment, a quiet, focused thing we all do together before the chaos of opening presents begins.
That's so lovely. But why a pickle? I've always wondered about that. What's the story behind it?
Well, that's where it gets interesting. We've been doing it for so long that nobody in my family is actually 100% sure where it came from.
No way.
Yeah, it's a bit of a ramble to explain. The story we were told as kids is that my great-great-grandfather brought the tradition over from Germany. It was a symbol of good luck for the year ahead.
That sounds plausible.
It does. But a few years ago, my cousin did some digging, and, well, it turns out the whole ancient German tradition thing might just be a myth.
A myth. Apparently, it was probably started in the 1880s by, of all people, an American department store as a way to sell more glass ornaments.
You're kidding me. So this deep, meaningful family tradition is basically a marketing ploy from over a century ago?
It looks that way. But you know what? It doesn't even matter.
No, it doesn't. Because the story isn't the point anymore.
Exactly. The point is the hunt itself. The shared memory we built around this silly little glass pickle. The story of us doing it is more important than the original story.
That's brilliant. It reminds me of one of my own family stories about a time a tradition went a little bit wrong.
Oh, those are the best stories.
So in my house, decorating the tree is a very precise operation. My dad is the chief architect. Everything has to be perfectly balanced.
I know that type. The tinsel has to be hung one strand at a time.
You get it. So one year, my little brother, who must have been about 5, was helping. My dad gave him a box of these beautiful but very fragile glass baubles.
Oh, no. I can see where this is going.
My dad's one rule was be very, very gentle. And my brother, he nodded very seriously. Gentle. Got it.
Famous last words.
So he takes the first ornament, walks over to the tree, and just throws it like he's pitching a baseball.
No!
Oh, yes. It just shattered into a million tiny pieces against the trunk.
Yeah,
And there's this moment of complete silence.
I can imagine.
My brother just looks at my dad with these big, innocent eyes and says, "It broke." And my dad, bless him, just took a very deep breath and said, "Okay, let's try the next one, a little softer."
That is a level of patience I can only aspire to.
It's become a legend in our family. Now, whenever someone is about to do something delicate, one of us will just say, "Okay, a little softer."
That's amazing. See, the best stories come from when things don't go perfectly to plan. The imperfections are what make it memorable.
Totally. The little disasters. It's funny how that works.
It really is.
This brings up another point. We've been talking about how to describe our own experiences, but sometimes the best conversations come from not talking about yourself at all.
I think that's a really important shift in thinking. The best way to talk about Christmas is sometimes to just ask about someone else's.
Right. To be a really curious listener.
Absolutely. I had this experience a few years back. I was at a holiday party and got talking to someone who had just moved here from a completely different country, a place where Christmas isn't a big public holiday.
Oh, interesting. So your usual questions like, "Are you ready for Christmas?" wouldn't really work.
They wouldn't land at all.
Yeah.
I realized I couldn't assume anything, so instead of talking, I just started asking.
What kind of things did you ask?
Really open questions.
Yeah.
Simple stuff, about their own big holidays. Things like, what's the most important celebration of the year for your family?
That's a great question.
And then I just followed up. I asked, what time of day is the main meal? And who's in charge of the cooking?
The logistics.
Yeah.
That's such a good way in.
It tells you so much. I learned all about their New Year celebration, which was the huge family event. I learned about the specific foods they make, who makes them, and the order they do everything in. It was fascinating.
And I bet you had a much better conversation than if you had just tried to explain your own traditions to them.
1,000 times better. I learned so much, and all I really did was listen and ask simple, curious questions.
It just shows that those universal topics, food, family gatherings, timing, they really do work, no matter where you're from.
They're the building blocks of any celebration, really.
Food, weather, presents. They're always great entry points. They seem simple, but they can open up really deep conversations.
Especially presents. Presents can be a conversational gold mine or a minefield.
A minefield is right. I think everyone has a story about a difficult gift.
Oh, for sure. I once received what might be the most difficult Christmas present of all time.
Ooh, do tell. What was it?
It was from my aunt, who is wonderful, but has, let's say, very unique taste. I opened this box, and inside was a lump of wood.
A lump of wood.
A very smooth, very polished, and very confusingly shaped lump of wood. It was about the size of a loaf of bread.
What?
What was it for?
That was the question on everyone's mind. It wasn't a sculpture. It wasn't a bowl. It had no function. And my aunt was just beaming at me, waiting for my reaction.
Pressure. What did you say?
I think I managed something like, "Wow, this is so earthy."
Earthy! That's brilliant!
I was panicking. And then she explained, she said, "It's a conversation starter."
She was right about that.
She was. The conversation for the next 20 minutes was the entire family trying to figure out what to say about this piece of wood.
Yeah.
It was awkward and hilarious and actually, kind of wonderful.
That's the kind of story that connects with everyone, because we've all been there. We've all had to find the right words for the earthy piece of wood in our lives.
We really have.
So looking ahead now, thinking about this coming Christmas, is there a specific plan you have that you're already excited to talk about next year?
That's a fun way to think about it. Planning the story in advance. Yeah. What's the thing you're hoping to do?
Okay, so this year, I'm going to try and make a proper traditional Christmas pudding.
Oh, wow. That's a serious undertaking, the ones you have to make weeks in advance.
Exactly. The ones you have to, like, steam for 8 hours and feed with brandy every week. It feels like a mix of baking and chemistry.
It's a real project.
It is. I've always been a bit intimidated by it, but this year's the year. My plan is to document the whole process.
The story is the making of it.
Yeah. Whether it turns out to be a glorious success or a soggy, boozy disaster, I feel like there'll be a good story to tell at the end of it.
I love that. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? The joy of connecting with people over these shared experiences. It doesn't matter if your English is simple or complex.
Not at all.
It's the story and the feeling behind it that matters.
Sure.
Sharing that little piece of your life is what builds the connection.
It absolutely is. And I think a quick tip for anyone listening is just that. Don't feel like you need to tell a long, complicated story.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it so simple. Even just mentioning one strong memory like, I loved the snow last year, or my mom's cooking was the best, that's a perfect starting point.
That's a great tip. And I'd add one more thing. Try to focus on the feeling of the memory, not just the facts.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, we opened presents at 8 a.m., maybe say, waking up on Christmas morning was so exciting. The emotion is what makes any story relatable.
Totally. The feeling is universal.
We hope this deep dive has given you some fun ideas and maybe a little more confidence to talk about your own Christmas experiences. We would love for you to share some of them in the comments.
Yes, please do. We'd love to hear about your unique family traditions, no matter how big or small.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
And remember, a little bit of English, listening and speaking every day can make a huge difference.
We'll be back soon with more deep dives.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and please share this if you found it useful.
Goodbye to all our listeners.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Goodbye.